Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
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 Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Taru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so what did we see in the previous class? Which chapter did we finish?
16.
We finished chapter number 16. What's the title of chapter 16?
The divine and the demoniac nature.
Divine and demoniac nature. So what does Krishna explain in this chapter? Characteristics of people who are divine and characteristics of people who are demoniac. Isn't it? And towards the end, let me share my screen. Can you see the Vedas?
Yes.
See, towards the end, Krishna is discussing how one who discards the scriptural instructions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme. And on the other side, if one is performing his duties, performing his activities, or engaging in activities that are according to the regulations of the scriptures, then that person can be elevated. No? So, in simple terms, those who are following Shastra, they are going to be elevated because they have divine qualities. And those who are not following Shastra, they are not going to attain any perfection or happiness, nor will they attain the supreme destination. So, this is the connecting link between chapter 16 and chapter 17. See, here Krishna is just categorizing into two, divine, demoniac. So those who are divine qualities, those who are following Shastras, they are divine. And those who are not, they are demoniac. So he just categorizing them into two, white and black. But what happens here is Arjuna asks a question where he wants to know what about those people who do not follow the principles of Shastra, but they are worshipping according to their own imagination. So he wants to know, yes, they have some faith, no, some worship they are engaging in, but that worship is not according to Shastra. So then what about them? So are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? So here you see Arjuna wants to know about those who are neither completely black nor completely white. He wants to know what about those people who are in the gray areas. So this is the connecting link between chapter 16 and chapter 17. It is titled The Divisions of Faith. This chapter, here Krishna will talk about different aspects in the three modes of material nature, which we will see as we proceed. And this has a total of 28 verses, 28 shlokas. Who can read today?
I can read today.
Okay, thank you, Shri Radhe Hari Mataji. Okay, so as we said, chapter 17, divisions of faith, 28 verses. We can break this down into 7 sections. But of course, as usual, we need to see what is the glory of this particular chapter. What is the benefit by reading, reciting, learning, hearing this particular chapter. So these are glorifications from the Gita Mahatmya, which is a conversation between Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. So Lord Shiva is explaining that King Khadgabahu. Have you heard of this name before? King Khadgabahu? Does anybody remember hearing this name before?
I've heard it, yeah, but I don't recall it, but I've heard it in stories also.
Okay. But you're not able to recall.
Oh
Anybody?
yeah, I remember now. Khatwa one is the person who did his Bhagavad Prapti into Shan. Like he wanted to do Bhagavad Prapti or something. He was very tired or something, and he told Indra to take him down on the earth. Is that the Khatwa one?
I have not heard of this. I don't know, you may be right, but I have not heard of it.
Okay.
Anybody else can recall this name? We have done it in our classes. Okay. So when we did the Falashruti of the previous chapter, in chapter 16, we spoke about a king who could, who learned chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita from another sage. After that sage was able to calm down a mad elephant. Do you remember? The Falashruti of chapter 16, when we did Gita Mahatmya of chapter 16, we saw the story of King Khadgabahu, who had an elephant who had gone mad and he was on this destruction mode. And he was calmed down by this devotee who was every day reciting the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And then he taught this to the king Khadgabahu. and the king Khadgabahu also began to recite chapter number 16. So this very same king Khadgabahu from Gita Mahatmya of chapter 16 is being discussed here in chapter 17 of the Gita Mahatmya. Okay, the very same king from the previous chapter. Okay, so King Khadgabahu, his son had a servant called Dushasan, who was very foolish by nature, and he made a bet with the prince that he could ride that elephant. No, the same elephant, the same mad elephant that was discussed in the Gita Mahatmya of the previous chapter. So he made this bet with the prince that he could ride this elephant. And by saying so, he immediately jumped on the elephant. Many people requested him not to ride that dangerous elephant because they've already seen the consequences of it. But he did not obey. Instead, he used very strong words and he urged that elephant to move on. Elephant got angry and started to wildly run here and there. And then Dushasan, that servant, he fell on the ground. The elephant stomped on him and he immediately died. So now in the next life, this servant, this Dushasan, he got the body of an elephant because he died in elephant consciousness. So he got the body of an elephant in a place called Simhal Dweep, where he stayed at the king's palace. So now the king of Simhal Dweep and the king Khadgabahu, they were very good friends. So the king of Simhal Dweep decided to gift that elephant to Khadgabahu, who in turn gifted the elephant. Now this elephant is the second elephant, not the original elephant, okay? The servant Dushasan was reincarnated as this elephant. So this particular elephant was gifted by the king of Simhaldweep to King Khadgabahu, who in turn gifted it to a poet whose poetry had impressed him very much. The poet sold the elephant to the king of Malwa for 100 gold coins. After some time, the elephant contracted a deadly disease and stopped eating and drinking. The caretakers of the elephant reported the matter to the king, who then went to visit the elephant with the best of doctors available. Suddenly, the elephant began to speak and said, "O dear king, you are very pious and a follower of the Vedas. So you should know at this time, medicines and doctors are of no use. If you want to help me, then please bring someone who daily recites chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita." So then the story continues. As requested by the elephant, the king brought one great devotee who regularly recited the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That devotee, while chanting the 17th chapter, sprinkled water on the elephant, at which time he gave up his elephant body and attained a four-armed form similar to that of Lord Vishnu. So what kind of moksha he got? If he attained a four-armed form similar to that of Lord Vishnu, what kind of moksha did he get?
Sarupya.
Sarupya, no? How many kinds of liberations exist?
Three.
Three?
Four types.
Anybody else wants to try?
Four.
Four.
4 or 5?
4 or 5. What's the exact number? Who can say? There are 5 kinds of liberation, 5 kinds of moksha. What are they? One we saw, Sarupya. In Sarupya liberation, one gets the same form as the Lord. Anybody knows the other 4? We have done this in our classes as well.
Salokya.
Salokya.
Sayukya.
Salokya means? Wait, we'll go one by one. Salokya means?
Same planet where they are. Okay. Means Vishnu is
Yes.
there, that planet.
Yes. They get to reside in the same planet as the Lord. Then?
Sayukya, they will merge in Brahmajyoti.
Yeah, Sayogya means they
Sayugya.
merge into the Brahma Jyoti. Okay. Then 4.
This one Sarupya, Sayukya, Salokya.
Then there is Samipya. Samipya means you
Yeah,
get to
near.
reside as a close associate
Close
of
associate.
the Lord. And the last one, 5th one, which we have not mentioned is Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti. Sarshti
Sarshti.
means you get the same opulence as the Lord. So there are 5 kinds of liberation, 5 kinds of liberation. So which is the liberation that a devotee will never accept under any circumstances?
All of them?
Sayugna.
Sayogya. Sayogya Mukti, a devotee will never accept under any circumstances. Why?
Because you don't want to merge. You want to
He
with
doesn't
Krishna
want to
to do service.
merge into the Brahman effulgence. He doesn't want to merge into that light. Why?
You want to do service to Krishna in all other
Because he
aspects of
wants
life.
to engage in devotional service. Very nice. No, because when one is in the light, one can attain lot of peace. No, there is no hankering, and there are the pangs of material existence are not disturbing one. One is free from birth, death, disease, and old age. But one only exists in the light, and there is no opportunity to render service to the Lord. So at some point, the living entity gets bored, and a devotee does not want to be in a position where he cannot render devotional service. He would much rather be in this material world, face birth, death, disease, and old age, but he wants to engage in devotional service because that way he will be happiest, happiest serving the Lord. So the other 4 a devotee may accept, but the last one, Sayogya, a devotee never will accept. Okay, so coming back to our story here. So he attained a 4-armed form similar to that of Lord Vishnu. He immediately sat down in a flower airplane which had been sent to take him to Vaikuntha. While sitting in that airplane, the king inquired from him about his previous birth, and Dushasan, after telling him everything, left for Vaikuntha. After which, that best of men, the king of Malwa, started regularly reciting the 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and after a short time, he attained the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So this is the Gita Mahatmya of chapter number 17. So connection between 16 and 17 we have already discussed. Let us see section 1. Let's hear the shloka.
अथ सप्तदशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहो रजस्तमः.
Arjun inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? Hare Krishna.
So this is Arjuna's question in the beginning of the chapter. He wants to know what about those people who are worshipping but not according to Shastra. So where do they stand? Where do they stand? Are they in goodness, passion, or in ignorance? When was how many shlokas did Arjuna speak in the previous chapter? 16. Does anybody remember? Did Arjuna speak in chapter 16?
2?
2. Why do you say 2?
Because he may have asked 2 questions.
He may have asked 2
in the
questions.
16. I remember one. Sorry.
Okay. So anybody knows? So Arjuna did not speak any verse in chapter number 16. Okay, the entire chapter is spoken by Krishna. How many chapters? Let's go to our Veda base. Because this is one point that I forgot to mention when we did the previous chapter. One second. See here, if you see chapter 16, Krishna just begins to speak the chapter and he starts to describe the divine and demoniac natures. And throughout, he is describing these two natures. Arjuna does not make any inquiry here in this whole chapter. Now let's go to the previous chapter, 15th chapter. In 15th chapter, Krishna mentions the banyan tree of material existence. No, he begins the chapter again on his own, and he's describing the inverted banyan tree of material existence. And throughout this chapter, has Arjuna spoken? Can you see any verse that says Arjuna said?
No, he didn't speak.
He didn't speak even in the 15th chapter.
13,
Speak in chapter 14. Did Arjuna speak in chapter 14? The
No.
chapter begins again. Krishna starts to speak. But did Arjuna ask any question here? Does Arjuna speak anything? Does he share his realizations or ask any questions?
No, I don't. No, no.
He did speak.
No,
See.
he.
So you see, in verse 21 of chapter 14 was the last time that Arjuna spoke.
14th chapter.
14th chapter is the last time Arjuna spoke. He inquired here by what symptoms, how can one, this very important question he asked, we discussed, how does one transcend the modes of material nature? So Arjuna has last spoken in chapter number 14 and now he speaks in chapter number 17.
17.
Okay. Okay, coming back to what we were discussing, see Krishna in 16.23 and 24, which we discussed, he said that the godly, they faithfully follow the scripture and they get elevated, while the ungodly faithlessly reject the scripture and they get degraded. So Krishna is categorizing them into two categories, black and white. But now Arjuna wants to know those who faithfully follow something they're following, some worship is there, but other than scripture, then what is their fate? What is their fate? Where are they? Where are they existing in that tree of material existence? No, where are they? Are they in the mode of goodness, in the higher part of that inverted tree, or in the mode of passion, or in the mode of ignorance? So where are they situated in that tree of material existence? So this is Arjuna's inquiry. So what does this question indicate? Arjuna's question at the start of 17th chapter is evidently linked to the last verses of the previous chapter. This shows Arjuna's careful understanding of the preceding section as well as his eagerness to understand new terms. So again we see Arjuna, he listens with a lot of concentration, no? He's not getting distracted. He's listening carefully to whatever Krishna is speaking. He understands it. And then he asks new terms. He wants to know about what Krishna has not spoken that Arjuna is inquiring here. So it shows Arjuna's understanding of what Krishna has spoken as well as his eagerness to understand new terms, which is a sign of a very good student. A good student should hear very well what is it that the teacher is saying in the class and be eager to learn more things. Then that way a student can flourish. So let's see what Krishna says.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shruno.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds, in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this. Hare Krishna.
So according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul. What do we mean by embodied soul, first of all? What does that term mean?
Entangled, embodied mean inside the body. Like
Yes. Entangle means we are entangled in this material body. Very nice. So what kind of body we have got? Now, what kind of body we have acquired depends on what?
on the karma.
By your karma?
Based on our past activities, isn't it? Based on our past activities. If we have a body which is very sattvic, or we have a mentality which is very sattvic, then it is because of our past activities. So what Krishna is saying, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul. So based on our past activities, we have acquired a certain body which is in a particular mode of material nature. So according to that, one's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. So if one's faith is in the mode of goodness, it's because he has acquired the mode of goodness. If one's faith is in the mode of passion, then it's because he has acquired the mode of passion. And similarly for the mode of ignorance. This is what Krishna is saying. We will see Krishna explaining further in detail.
सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्धः स एव सः.
O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Hare Krishna.
So key point here is the faith depends on the modes of material nature. What kind of faith one has depends on what kind of mode of material nature he is in. Okay, so if the faith is in the mode of goodness, is because he has acquired a body in the mode of goodness. So faith depends on the mode of material nature one is in. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. So if one is existing in the mode of goodness, then you evolve a faith that is in the mode of goodness. See, this is the reason why there are so many religions, there are so many paths. Sometimes people say, why has God made so many religions? Why there are so many paths? It's because everybody is not equal. Everybody is not in the same mode. It's not a one size fits all. No. And Krishna wants to accommodate everyone into his net of mercy. No. In order to accommodate everyone, every single entity, he is giving different kinds of religions so that one can be attracted to somehow or the other one can come eventually to him. So this is the reason why there are so many different religions that exist. And also Shastra, no? We have 18 Puranas. We have 6 Puranas who are for those who are in the mode of goodness. There are 6 other Puranas who are for those who are in the mode of passion. And there are 6 Puranas who are for those who are in the mode of ignorance. So even Shastra also is there for all these different categories of people, the different kinds of faiths. See, usually people think that faith, only the religious people have faith. But actually, everybody has some faith or the other. There is always faith. Even if a person says that he has no faith, in something or the other, everyone is placing their faith, is it not? When we walk on the road and the pedestrian signal is green, signaling that we can cross the road. We cross the road, we have faith that the car who's coming there, he's going to stop at the red light. So are we not placing our faith in that driver and risking? Because we can say, but what is the guarantee that he's going to brake? He may run over me. But we are placing our faith on him. When we ride an airplane, we are placing our faith on the pilot who's riding that plane. So like that, everyone is placing faith. Sometimes we place when we go undergo a surgery. No, the doctor is there with these different kinds of knives and he can do anything. But we undergo the surgery because we place our faith in the doctor or in our lawyers. So like that, faith is always there. Always there is some faith in someone, everyone has. Okay. See, let's analyze this further. See, here in the rest of the chapter, coming soon, Krishna is going to talk about these categories in the three modes of material nature. So he will talk about the object of worship in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. Then he talks about foods that are in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Similarly, for sacrifices, austerities, and charity. We have discussed how charity also, no, we have spoken in the past about how charity should be to the right person, no. So even charity can be in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Same is with tapasya. Austerities also can be in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Like this, he's going to expand on these in the chapter. So what Krishna is basically saying is that Krishna indicates that faith is not just about something we believe, it is integral to our very existence. It is about how we live, about how we live. We are made of our faith, and as our faith is, so we will become in the future. To aid in assessing faith, Krishna analyzes faith in terms of several important aspects of daily living. So these are the important aspects here. These are different aspects here. So faith is not necessarily only what we believe. Faith is how we live, how we live. So when we live, we are worshipping someone, we are eating something, we are engaging in some kind of sacrifices, we are engaging in some kind of tapasya, we are engaging in some kind of charity. So these are very, very important aspects of how we live. Why are these very, very important? Because they demonstrate our understanding of how we interact with the rest of existence. How we interact with the rest of existence. Now we have to accept that our existence depends on other factors that are not under our control. Even though human beings like to think that we have everything under control. I may have a lot of wealth, I may have my contacts, so I may think that I'm safe. No, but we have to understand that there are many things that are beyond our control. So how do we connect with and contribute to something bigger than ourselves? How are we going to connect with these other factors? For example, we may think that I have this land, I have good quality seeds. I will sow the seed. I will take care of the plants and I will reap a rich harvest and I have food for myself and my family. I don't have to depend on going and purchasing it in a supermarket, for example. But then there are factors beyond the control. Maybe it will not rain that year. No, maybe the crops are infested with pests. So there are factors that are beyond our control and we depend on other living entities and other factors that are bigger than ourselves. So how we connect with them and how we contribute, that is something bigger than ourselves, which is this. What are we worshipping? What are we eating? What are the yagyas we do, sacrifices? What kind of tapasya and what kind of charity? So this is what Krishna is going to explain in this chapter. See, let's see some points from the purport. So according to a particular type of faith, one associates with certain persons. The original position of the living entity is what? We are parts and parcels of Krishna, and therefore originally we are nirguna. Nirguna means we do not have material qualities. We do not have material qualities. We have only spiritual qualities. The soul is completely spiritual. But now we are conditioned, we are embodied. Because we are embodied, we are trapped in this material body. We forget. So the problem is we have forgotten the spiritual, the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore we are entangled in these modes. No, in the spiritual world, there is no mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. But here we are entangled in these different modes. So what is the result is that artificial faith and existence are only material. Even that faith, that artificial faith and that existence also is only material. So what is the solution? Only path back to original position. The only way we can revive our original position is Krishna consciousness. There is no other way. There is no other way. Although one may be conducted by some impression or some conception of life, originally he is nirguna. He is transcendental. So doesn't matter what one thinks, what one believes. Originally, this is his position, that he is completely transcendental. He is completely spiritual. He is part and parcel of Krishna. So one has to become cleansed of this material contamination. Because we have acquired this material body, we are now materially contaminated. So we have to be cleansed of this material contamination that we have acquired in order to regain our lost relationship with Krishna. So guaranteed path of perfection is Krishna consciousness. If one does not take to this path, one surely comes under the modes. And as long as we are under the influence of the three modes of material nature, we are going to remain in this material world. Doesn't matter if we are in the mode of goodness, no. We may be very close to attaining perfection, but still we have not attained perfection. Just like how if one wants to travel, let's say one wants to travel to India from America, if he has bought his ticket, he has packed his bags, he is at the airport at the right time, and he's crossed customs and security, and he's right there at the boarding gate. No, so he's in the best position to take that flight and reach his destination. But if he does not take that flight, he is as much far away from his destination as anybody else who's in that country. No, so when one is in the mode of goodness, one is in the right, one is in the right position to cross over and reach the spiritual world. But if you don't cross over, if you don't board that plane, then you are as far away from the destination as anybody else is, as one person who's in the mode of passion or who's in the mode of ignorance. So therefore that leap we have to take from the mode of goodness to the mode of transcendental goodness, Shuddha Sattva stage. See here, if one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfectional state. It is guaranteed. It is guaranteed. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. If you can see here, he has surrendered to the spiritual master. The spiritual master is showing him the path. And therefore, it is guaranteed that he will attain perfection. Then coming to faith. Faith originally comes of mode of goodness. Strong faith is a product of works of material goodness. One's faith may be in a devata, some created god, or some mental concoction. No works are completely purified in material conditional life. Pure goodness, only in this state one can understand Supreme Personality of Godhead. So only in pure godness we can understand Krishna. Basis of different religious principles. So we just discussed why there are so many different religious principles. When goodness is contaminated and heart is tainted according to different modes, it results in various types of worship and principles. So when the heart is contaminated, there are different types of worship and principles. So when the contamination is more or contamination is less, some person may be very close and have very little contamination. So like that, there are different types of worship for different categories of people. But real principle of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness, that is Shuddha Sattva stage. Different types of faith leads to different types of worship. So different types of faith leads to different types of worship. This is the theme for the next verse. See here, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explains how there are different kinds. See, to elaborate more on this particular topic, different types of faith leads to different types of worship. So we know that there are 9 kinds of devotional service. No, what are the 9 items of devotional service? Anybody remembers?
Shravanam Kirtanam.
Shravanam Kirtanam. Then
Maranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam.
very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji. So these are the 9 items of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Translation, do you know? Shravanam, Kirtanam means?
Shravanam Kirtanam.
Hearing and chanting.
Hearing and chanting. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam means?
Remembering.
Remembering the Lord. Then
Worshipping.
Sevanam,
Worshipping means doing
worshipping the
puja.
lotus feet. Pada Sevanam, worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. Then
Offering
Archana,
prayer. Offering prayer.
then what is Vandanam? Archanam, Vandanam. So if Vandanam is, Archanam is what?
Archana means doing puja, worship.
Worshipping. Then Vandanam is offering prayers. Then Dasyam means
Rendering
rendering
service.
service.
as a servant, no? Rendering,
Yeah.
all of them are rendering service, but this is rendering service as a servant,
As a
no?
servant.
Dasyam.
Okay,
Then
yeah.
Sakyam,
Is it surrendering?
Sakyam.
Sakyam.
Friendship with God.
What's
Like
that?
a friend.
Friendship with God.
Yes. Serving the Lord as a friend. Then Atma Nivedanam means
Surrendering to God.
Yes, surrendering everything, no? Atma Nivedanam, surrendering everything. So you see here, devotional service in the modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness can be divided into 81 categories. So see, previously, just as how we discussed, you see a painting. A painting is basically a permutation, combination of three basic colors. So like that, you can divide devotional service into 81 categories by different combinations. Srila Prabhupada explains. See, there are different devotional services such as hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, offering prayer, rendering service, and surrendering everything. And each of them can be divided into three qualitative categories, which means you can have Shravanam in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. Then you can have Kirtanam in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, like that. So how many you get? 9 into which number you have to multiply?
9 times 9?
9 into 3.
9 into 3. Yes, 9 into 3. Because each of those devotional service can be divided into three categories: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So 9 into 3, you get how many?
27.
27. So see here. There is hearing in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance, and in the mode of goodness. Similarly, there is chanting in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness, explains Srila Prabhupada. 3 multiplied by 9 equals 27. And when again multiplied by 3, it becomes 81. So 27 again multiplied by 3 becomes 81. So there are 81 categories of devotional service. One has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of pure devotional service. Does anybody have a question?
Yes, how come 81, 9 into 3 is 27? How it should be multiplied by 3 again?
Yeah, I was hoping somebody will ask this question. Thank you. So we will see that in the next slide.
Yeah.
See here, each guna has 3 subgunas. 3 subgunas, explains His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj. So you can see here, mode of goodness can be divided into what? Those worshipping with a motive to destroy their sins, those worshipping with a motive to please the Lord, those worshipping with a motive to fulfill their duties. So mode of goodness again can be subdivided into these three categories. Then mode of passion, those worshipping for sense gratification, those worshipping to get their own sense gratificatory activities sanctioned. Those who are worshipping because they want fame. Those who are worshipping because they want opulence. So these are the subcategories of the mode of passion. Then mode of ignorance again can be divided into three categories. Those worshipping with violence, those worshipping with pride, and those worshipping with jealousy. There are people who are worshipping, but they are worshipping with violence, causing destruction. Those who are worshipping with pride, those are worshipping with jealousy. So like that, these 9 categories into 3 modes will give us 27. But now each mode is again divided into subcategories. So therefore you come to this number. Again, you multiply by 3
81.
because there are 3 subcategories, and therefore you come to 81. Okay,
81.
so there are 81 categories of devotional service.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Very interesting.
Yes. Okay, now let's go to 4.
यजन्ते सात्विका देवान् यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणांश्चान्ये यजन्ते तामसा जनाः
Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship
I can
the
hardly
demons.
hear you. Can you be a little louder, please?
Yes, of course. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Hare Krishna.
So here Krishna is describing worship in the 3 modes. What is he saying? Men in the mode of goodness, they worship the devatas. Those who are in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those who are in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Can you think of anyone like this? Somebody who has worshipped the demons? Demons means anybody who is very powerful. See, demons are characterized by a lot of strength, no? They're very, very powerful people. So those in the mode of passion worship the demons. In the Kali Yuga, who are the very powerful personalities?
People in the government.
People in the government, isn't it? The politicians or those who are film stars. They can also influence the people. I mean, they just say something and everybody wants to follow. Because here now, I was about to say a Spanish or lamenta, pero bueno. Unfortunately, in the Kali Yuga, role models, if you ask anybody who's your role model, they will mention probably a cricketer, a sportsman, film star, or a politician, but they will never say that, let's say my role model, for example, is Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, or Mirabai, or these great saintly people, because now it's considered to be low class to follow any kind of spirituality, no? And people are scared of spiritual people. They think that the spiritual person will brainwash me, or so they run away from spiritual people. So nowadays, most of the human population, if you ask them who's your role model, they will mention these categories of people, no? And they really can influence the mentality of the general population. So in the mode of passion, one worships the demons or somebody who's very, very powerful. Those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. So the kind of worship that goes on, sometimes there are people who are undertaking some worship in graveyards or where people are burned or buried. There is some worship going on. Some kind of black magic also goes on. That is also worship, right? But that is worship in the mode of ignorance, Krishna is saying. But if you worship the devatas, that is in the mode of goodness. See here in this picture. On the top 3 gods, Vivaswan, Brahma, and Lord Shiva are being worshipped by their respective devotees. So who's Vivaswan?
Sun god.
Incarnation
The
of Lord
sun
Vishnu.
god. Yes, no, Vivaswan is a sun god. Now, everybody is coming from Krishna only. But Vivaswan more specifically is the sun god. So somebody is worshipping the sun god, somebody is worshipping Lord Brahma, somebody is worshipping Lord Shiva. So this is in the mode of goodness. Then here, just below, a man is worshipping a famous mundane personality. So here you can see he's worshipping this mundane personality because he is powerful. No, he's on that elevated seat, and therefore he's being worshipped. So this is worship in the mode of passion. And here in the bottom, women are worshipped by a tree which is inhabited by a ghost, and a man is worshipping the tomb of a dead man. So sometimes if people know that on the outskirts of the village there is this tree which is inhabited by ghosts, they will go and worship that tree. So this is this guy and this tomb also. So this is worship in the mode of ignorance, Krishna is saying. So worship also can be in the different modes. See here. So worship scales new heights in India. Telangana Tali. They are worshipping a politician. Here, film actors. There is a temple for Amitabh Bachchan. There is a temple for Rajnikant in South India. So even film actors are worshipped. Actually, these are all real pictures. Say, cricket is my religion, Tendulkar is my god. So here you can see how they're worshipping Sachin Tendulkar. Now let's see what Lord Shiva says. Lord Shiva says, I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudev in pure Krishna consciousness. So this pure Krishna consciousness is in which of the three modes? Is it in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance?
Goodness.
It's in
Shuddha Sattva
transcendental.
Goodness.
In the goodness?
Shuddha Sattva Goodness.
Shuddha Sattva Gun. So which mode is that?
Goodness?
No.
Transcendental, sir?
Yeah,
Transcendental goodness?
Transcendental goodness. Yes, transcendental goodness. So pure Krishna consciousness is beyond even the mode of goodness. It is the stage of transcendental goodness, pure Krishna consciousness. So Lord Shiva himself is saying that I'm always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudev in pure Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, which means Shambhu or Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. So this is Lord Shiva's exalted position. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudev, is revealed without any covering. So this revelation without any covering is not possible in the other modes. It's not possible in the other modes. See, we spoke about Puranas, no? How there are different Puranas in the different modes. So here, Srila Prabhupada explains in a lecture, there are 18 Puranas. Men are conducted in three qualities: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. To reclaim all these conditioned souls in different varieties of life, there are presentation of the Puranas. So, see, Krishna wants to reclaim all the conditioned souls. There are varieties. There are people in the different modes, and there are different people who are in different combinations and permutations of the modes also, no? Mixed modes. So, in order to reclaim all these people who are in the different varieties of life, there are presentation of different Puranas. The 6 Puranas are meant for the people who are in the modes of goodness. And 6 Puranas are meant for people who are in the mode of passion. And 6 Puranas are in the who are in the mode of ignorance. Those Puranas are meant for them. Srila Prabhupada explains. This is the reason why if you read, let's say if you read Shiv Mahapuran, in that it will be explained that Lord Shiva is the supreme. No, if you read Vishnu Puran, it will say that Vishnu is the supreme. Like that, there are different Puranas to get different categories of people. Krishna doesn't want to leave out anyone. He wants to include everyone. Therefore, there are different Puranas. See, this is actually from the Padma Purana, very, very interesting. We will not read all, but Lord Shiva describes which Puranas are belonging to which mode. No, he says, so Lord Shiva is talking to Goddess Parvati. Oh, beautiful one, the Vishnu Puran, the Narada Puran, the Bhagawad Puran, the Garud Puran, the Padma Puran, and Varaha Puranas all belong to the mode of goodness. So they are all considered auspicious, says Lord Shiva, who is the topmost Vaishnava, greatest authority. Then he goes on to say that the Brahmand Purana, the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Markandeya, Bhavishya, Vamana, and Brahma Puranas belong to the mode of passion. So which Lord is in charge of the mode of passion?
Is it Indra?
Brahma.
It's a
Which Lord is in charge of the mode of passion?
Shiva.
Shiva. Shiva is in charge of ignorance.
Who creates?
Brahmaji.
Brahma.
Who destroys?
Brahma.
Shiva.
Destroys Shiva.
Shiva.
Okay, so Lord Brahma creates and Lord Shiva destroys. To create, what do we need? Passion or ignorance?
We need
to create
Passion.
something, we need
Passion.
passion. To destroy something, what do we need?
Ignorance.
Ignorance, isn't it? So Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of passion. And you can see Brahma Purana belongs to the mode of passion. Now, don't misunderstand. It doesn't mean that Brahma is in the mode of passion. No, he is in charge of that particular mode. Then Lord Shiva says, and know that these 6 Puranas belong to the mode of ignorance. The Matsya Purana, the Kurma, Linga, Shiva, Skanda, and Agni Purana. So you can see even Shiv Puran is under the category of the mode of ignorance because Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of ignorance. And because he is in charge of the mode of ignorance, he is called as he is in charge of the ghosts and the spirits. That's why his name is Bhutnath. Bhutnath. Bhutnath means he is the lord of the bhutas, the ghosts and the spirits. He is the well-wisher of the ghosts and spirits. Doesn't mean that he is in the mode of ignorance. He is in charge. He is the well-wisher and he takes care of those categories of people. Okay, so like that, there are out of the 18 Puranas, you can see Puranas in the mode of goodness, Puranas in the mode of passion, and Puranas in the mode of ignorance. Now, we discussed creation and destruction. It's very, very easy to create. All right, I have this passion, I want to create, I go for it, and I create something. No, it's easiest to destroy something. I'm fed up, I just want to throw a bomb and destroy something. What is most difficult is to maintain. One may sometimes say, oh, very nice. I'm going to start chanting my 16 rounds tomorrow. All passion. Very nice. No, and then it's easier to stop chanting. It's easiest to stop chanting, but to maintain your sadhana day after day after day after day, maintain your 16 rounds, 4 principles every single day. That is most difficult. So that is maintenance. And Lord Vishnu is in charge of the mode of goodness. Of all these Puranas, which is the spotless Purana, which is the Amala Purana, which is the purest of the pure Puranas?
Vishnu Puran, Bhagavatam.
Vishnu Purana or Bhagavatam, they are 2 different Puranas.
Bhagavatam.
Yes, the
Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, the Srimad Bhagavatam. No, the Srimad Bhagavatam is called as the Amala Purana or the spotless Purana because it does not have even the slightest tinge of material religiosity. Now, what is material religiosity? Material religiosity means one engages in some religious practices expecting something in return. Oh, my dear Lord, I will feed 100 Brahmanas. You just sanction this business deal for me. No, or I will go to Tirupati and I will put 1 kilo of gold coins. You just allow my son to get an admission in this medical college. So one is engaging in some religiosity, but expecting something in return. That is called material religiosity. But the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Purana does not have even the slightest tinge of material religiosity. It only talks about pure devotional service. So this Bhagavad Purana was the final masterpiece that was composed by Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva composed all this Vedic literature, no? The 4 Vedas. He also composed the 18 Puranas, the 108 Upanishads. He wrote the Vedanta Sutras, which is a commentary on the Vedas, no, and still he was not feeling satisfied. He was feeling incomplete. He was feeling dissatisfied. So then, just like how every good disciple should do when in doubt, he asked his spiritual master, Narada Muni, what is the reason that I'm feeling dissatisfied? And then upon the instruction of Narada Muni, Vyasadeva composed his final masterpiece, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he was feeling completely satisfied. So this is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can read it. It's there on our database. Okay, now one may say, see, we are actually contradicting ourselves here because here Krishna says men in the mode of goodness worship the devatas. So everyone who worships any devata is in the mode of goodness, Krishna says here. But then here again we are saying that there are Puranas which are in the, we are saying that Lord, not we, but Lord Shiva is saying that Shiv Puran is in the mode of ignorance, that Brahma Puran is in the mode of passion. So it appears that there is a contradiction. So how to understand this contradiction? That there are multi-level. The modes are not monochrome. There are multi-level in these modes. Each mode has shades corresponding to different levels of consciousness within that mode. So within that mode, again, there are different levels. So worshippers of Lord Vishnu are in goodness, goodness. Worshippers of Lord Brahma are in goodness, passion. So yes, it's in the mode of goodness in the broad category, but under goodness also there are sub-levels, sub-categories. So worshippers of Lord Brahma are in the mode of goodness, passion, and worshippers of Lord Shiva are under goodness, ignorance. This is how we understand. That is not just, again, not one size fits all. There are different levels of consciousness within each mode.
But I think Hiranyakashipu also worshipped Lord Brahma, but he was in the mode of ignorance, no?
Mode of passion as well as mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance, see, again, you cannot say he's only in ignorance or only in passion. He can be in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. Okay, Hiranyakashipu was very passionate because he wanted fame, and you can say that he is in the mode of ignorance because he does not understand that what he gets is only going to last a certain period of time. So one can be in mixed modes of material nature, not only in one. Okay, there are different multi levels.
So was
So
he in
again,
the
another
mode?
thing, all
Was he in
animals are in the mode of ignorance. So general understanding, yes, all animals are in the mode of ignorance. See, if Shastra says that the devatas are in the mode of goodness, human beings are in the mode of passion, because we human beings are we are very passionate. We want to make our money, we want to secure our future, we want our insurance policies, we want our children to have good education, good jobs, so that they can have a nice source of income. So human beings are in the mode of passion, and animals are in the mode of ignorance. Now, under that broad category also, you can one Shastra also tells us that the cows are in the mode of goodness, because we worship the cows. We worship the cows. So cows, because the cow is is an animal, it is the mode of ignorance. But under the mode of ignorance, it is under the mode of ignorance, goodness. The tiger is under the mode of ignorance, passion, because he's a meat eater, no, always ferocious. And dogs are in the mode of ignorance, ignorance. So this is how we understand that the modes are at multi-level. Within the broad category of the modes, there are other sub-levels. Let's see 5 and 6.
अशास्त्रविहितं घोरं तप्यन्ते ये तपोजनाः दम्भाहङ्कारसंयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्.
Those who undergo severe austerities and penance not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish, and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons.
Here Krishna is talking about the black, white or grey category of people.
He's talking about black.
Black. Why do you say so?
Because everything he's saying, the people who don't follow Shastras or who do, means not karma or no tapasya with the wrong intentions.
Yes, exactly. No, so he's talking about the black category. The demons are known as demons. Arjuna's inquiry about about those people who are in the gray areas. But before Krishna can elaborate further on Arjuna's question, Krishna makes it a point to mention one more aspect of those who have demoniac mentality. So this is very, very important. That's why Krishna is mentioning it here, obviously. So what does Krishna say here? Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scripture. So they are doing tapasya. They are doing tapasya. They are doing austerities, penances, but they are doing them which are not recommended in the scriptures. Why do they do it? They are performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment. So we spoke about Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is one such category. He did lot of tapasya. No, he was standing on one foot with his arms raised in order to please Lord Brahma. And his whole body was eaten by ants. There was hardly any flesh. He was all bones. No, if you, I don't have a picture right now, but if you just Google Hiranyakashipu doing tapasya, you can see how his body was only just bones. No, there was hardly any life. So much tapasya he had done. But did he do that tapasya recommend the scriptures? No, but he was performing them out of pride and egoism. He was very proud of his tapasya, that I can do this. No, sometimes devotees also, one may think that, okay, I'm doing Nirjala fast, but they are very proud that, look, I was able to do Nirjala, but you are not able to do. No. So what is the mentality of such a person? No. Sometimes one may do tapasya out of pride and egoism, impelled by lust and attachment. So this was Hiranyakashipu. He was lusty for power, and he was attached to that people should worship him. He was attached to that. So therefore, he was foolish. Why is he foolish? Because he did
was
so much
worshipping.
tapasya to get something that would last only a short period of time. No, why? Because whenever a boon is given by a devatas, that boon cannot be eternal. That boon cannot be eternal because the devatas themselves are not eternal. So how can they grant something that is going to last eternally? It can only last for a short period of time, at best till death. But then again, one is going to be born again one has to suffer. So all the tapasya he did for so many months. That's why, what did he get in return? Eventually, anyway, he was killed by Lord Narasimhadev. Even after doing so much tapasya, eventually he was killed by Narasimhadev. So therefore, such people are foolish, Krishna is saying, who torture the material elements of the body. So they are torturing their own body as well as the super soul dwelling within. So not only are they torturing their own body, they're also torturing the Paramatma. So such people, Krishna is saying, are known as demons. So they are doing austerities and penances, severe austerities and penances, but their mentality is what? That they are proud, they are egoistic, they are doing it because of lust and attachment. So that mentality, Krishna is saying, such people who do austerities and penances, but they have this mentality, then they are to be considered as demons. They are to be considered as demons. So if somebody would say Hiranyakashipu doing that kind of tapasya, anybody would say, oh, this is a great sage, great saintly man. No, but because his mentality was that of lust and attachment, pride and egoism, therefore he is to be considered demoniac. Therefore he is to be considered demoniac. Now let's discuss this. How does the super soul get tortured when the living entity is engaging in severe austerities and penances?
Because I think he wants the person to become Krishna consciousness, and when they go otherwise, they go not in a Krishna consciousness way, but they go in a way of giving their body pain, giving their mind pain, giving their activities pain. Like, then Krishna is disturbed that it's a simple process, Krishna consciousness. They cannot accept it, but they are accepting violence to their body and mind, and they call that tapasya.
Yes, very nice. So the super soul is feeling tortured because he's dwelling within the body and he's seeing the person undergoing tapasya for the wrong reasons. Okay, very nice. Anybody else wants to give another understanding?
Because if the soul is suffering, even the super soul suffers.
If the soul suffers, the super soul also suffers, because the super soul is the well-wisher of the soul, just like how parents are the well-wishers of the children. Very nice. Anybody else wants to share another understanding? So I have an example which I heard in another class. If you are the owner of an apartment and you rent the apartment to somebody else, but you also continue to live in that apartment, and this new person who is in this apartment is destroying the house. So will you as the owner feel tortured or no? Will it be uneasy for you?
Yes, it will be uneasy and torture as
Definitely, isn't
well.
it? So in the same way, this body it belongs to whom? Does the body belong to us or belongs to Krishna?
It belongs to the Lord.
Yeah, the owner of this body is the super soul. So the super soul is allowing us to reside in that body. The body does not belong to us. It belongs to the super soul, but the super soul is allowing the soul to live in that body. But the soul living in that body is destroying that body, torturing the material elements of the body. So therefore, such people, they torture the material elements of the body as well as they are torturing the super soul. Okay, so such people are called as. See, detecting the demoniac mentality is very easy when one second, I'm not able to. When expressed in activities that are malicious or murderous. So it's easy to detect a demon when his activities are bad, when his activities are demoniac. But it is very difficult to detect a demon when he is concealed behind activities that seem divine, such as austerity. So it appears that such people are engaged in divine activities, no, but actually the mentality is different. So it's very difficult to detect such demons. Very difficult to detect such demons. Now, which category in the Mahabharata war? Who were under this category? Easy to know for Arjuna that they are malicious and murderous and they are demoniac.
The opposite party, the Duryodhan party,
Duryodhan,
Duryodhan, Karan, his 100 brothers, all the gurus, Pitama and all I don't, yeah, the Dishtar is his name. Pitama's name is what?
no.
He was not.
Expressed in activities that are malicious or murderous. So
Oh,
Duryodhan,
the
yes.
person who killed the Panch Pandavas' sons.
Dushasan, yes. So these kind of people was very easy to detect that they are, yes, malicious or murderous. Who were difficult to detect that they are demons? Who will Arjuna not see as a demon on the
The
opposite side?
gurus and the Pitama. I forgot his name.
Yeah, Bhishma and Dronacharya, for
Yeah.
example. Okay, for example, when you say guru, his guru. So their activities are not demoniac. They are not engaged in, because so far they have not engaged in activities that you can say that they are demoniac like Duryodhan or Dushasan, because they didn't try to kill the Pandavas or engage in that rigged gambling match, or so many things that Duryodhan and Dushasan very openly did to show that they are demoniac was not done by Dronacharya or Bhishma. So why is it that Krishna is mentioning this demoniac mentality here when Arjuna is asking about gray areas? Why this is important at this stage? Let's read. By highlighting how the demoniac nature is essentially a mentality, Krishna prepares Arjuna for the battle he is about to fight. The opposite side had some leaders who were overtly demoniac. For example, Duryodhana and Dushasan. And they have many allies whose activities were not demoniac at all. Example, Bhishma and Drona. Yet these allies had chosen to support the demoniac cause. Therefore, Arjuna needed to unsentimentally neutralize them. To do his difficult duty as a Kshatriya, Arjuna needed to see this grim reality beyond their non-demoniac appearance. So this is the reason why Krishna is mentioning this at this particular point before he continues to explain about the gray areas. See here. So when you undergo austerities and penances that are not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, this is like a public display that, look, I can do this, I can tolerate this pain, I can bear this pain. There are three things that should be kept very private. What are they? Bhakti, bhojan, and preeti. Bhakti means your devotional service. There is no need to go around bragging to the whole world that, oh, I did this in bhakti, I did that. No. Bhakti, bhojan, food. Food also should be private. And preeti means love affairs. No, whatever intimacy, even if you're husband and wife, that intimacy should be kept private in your rooms. It's not for public display. But now everywhere on social media, people like to display, things that should be actually kept private.
Can you say that again? What are the three things? Food, prayer, bhakti, food, and
Bhakti, bhojan, and preeti.
preeti. Okay.
Devotion, food, and your intimate relations.
Melody, can I ask you a question? For food, does it mean the food we eat or food we offer? Or?
Any food, the food that we offer also. See, Shastra says that food that we offer to the Lord should be private. It should not be in public display, because if somebody sees that food with the mentality that, oh, this is very yummy, or with the mentality that I want to enjoy, then that food is not fit for offering to the Lord. That's why when we make prasad, the only the inner group of the cooks will know what is being cooked for the Lord. They will not openly say, okay, tomorrow is Janmashtami and this is going to be the menu and please come and enjoy. No, because they have not yet offered it to the Lord. So it has to be kept private. Okay, even what we offer also should be private, and what we eat also it's not for public display. Now, see, another thing, see, there are two things. What is your mentality? See, sometimes after we offer it to the Lord, then we may take a picture and share it on social media saying that, see, this I have cooked for the Lord, but with the mentality to encourage others to come and do the service in the kitchen. Sometimes we do that here in ISKCON Chile because we are a very small congregation, and if it's and we need to encourage people to come and undertake the seva. So sometimes, yes, the devotees, they put it on social media, but with the mentality that they want to encourage more and more people to come and cook good quality prasadam for the Lord. But this cannot be done before the Lord eats, not before the Lord eats. After the Lord eats. Okay. That's why when we offer food to the Lord also, we don't stay in that room. We walk out so that the Lord can eat in private. Don't we do that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because it should be done in private. See, just yesterday I was reading a quote. It's not from Prabhupada's books, and I was just wondering what could be the reason. No, I was just pondering over it. There was a quote that said that a person in whose house there is a dog, God will never accept that food. And I was just thinking, I cannot use this in the preaching and we don't know what is the source. But then I read in the Nectar of Devotion that if food is looked upon by a living entity with the mentality that I want to eat that, I want to enjoy that, then that food is not fit for offering. Then that food is not fit for offering. And if the dog is going to see that food, you have a dog in the house, the dog is going to see that food. That means as soon as a dog sees food, what does the dog want to do?
Eat.
He wants to
Eat
eat.
it?
That's his mentality, is it not? So then, therefore, it's the same thing. Nectar of Devotion says that if that food is looked upon by anybody, any living entity, with the mentality that I want to enjoy, then that food is not fit for offering. So the same thing. So then I could understand what that other previous quote meant. So therefore, these things should be kept private. Okay. Let us see points from the purport. Manufacture modes of austerity and penances that are not mentioned in the Shastras. Example, fasting for an ulterior purpose, like promoting a political end or social cause. So sometimes people go on strike, on hunger strike. They go on hunger strike, no food, no water, for some political purpose or for some social purpose. Then such fasting is not good for any spiritual advancement. The same fasting we do, no food, no water for Janmashtami, then yes, there is spiritual advancement. So importance of the word acheshataha, misled mentality. So in the Shastra, in this, here is that word, achetasaha. What does that mean? Having a misled mentality. No, so the mentality is misled. Yes, you're doing the tapasya, but for the wrong reasons. Normal mentality is that one must obey the scriptures. That's why Ekadasi should be followed on Ekadasi. One should not fast for Ekadasi on Dwadasi. Fasting on Dwadasi is inauspicious. It is inauspicious. It will bring inauspiciousness. So therefore, Shastra says fast on Ekadasi means fast on Ekadasi. On Dwadasi, we should feast. We should feast. Okay. Okay, so normal mentality is that one must obey the scriptures. Abnormal position, neglect and disobey the scriptures. Destiny is repeated demoniac birds. Those who are envious and pious, who are lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence into various demoniac species of life. This is from 16th chapter. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So, whatever tapasya or fasting or whatever austerity we do, if it is not shastric, it will only lead to repeated demoniac births. It will only lead to repeated demoniac births. Rare fortune for such persons to be guided by the spiritual master to the direct Vedic path and achieve the supreme goal. So such people who have this demoniac mentality, if they are guided by the bona fide spiritual master, then they will be directed to the right path and they can achieve the supreme goal. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you clear these notes today?
Yes, I will do that.
Mataji, I have something.
कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा आदित्य नाम माता जी की जय
Jai.
जय पताका महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय थैंक यू माता जी कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम
Thank you, Mataji, for giving us your association. It's very nice to hear your sweet voice, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, Nectar of Devotion, you also give class for that too?
The only class I give is online is Bhagavad Gita. Once we finish with Bhagavad Gita, we will have some one-off classes on some important subject matters. And then in March or April, if Krishna so sanctions, we will start with Krishna book. That's the
Hari
plan.
Bol. Hari Bol.
So I hope that we can successfully finish all classes, whatever we undertake.
That's a long book, right? Krishna book.
Yeah, 90 chapters. That's a project for maybe 2 or 3 years.
And Nectar of Devotion and Instruction is a small book.
Nectar of Instruction is a small book. Nectar of Devotion is a big book.
Do you ever in future want to give class on that?
For now, the plan is Krishna book. So that's there. That's going to keep us here for 3 years. After that, let's see what is Krishna's plan.
Okay, thank you.
Mataji, can I call you? I have some things to discuss.
Yeah,
If
you
you
can
have
call me post the Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, Vivansh.
After the Bhagavad Gita, are we going to do the Ramayana? Maybe.
No, after Bhagavad Gita, I said we will do some one-off classes because we have less time. And then in March or April, we will be starting with Krishna book. And after that, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Right. Thanks.
Never say never, they say no. So let's see what is Krishna's plan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, anything else? Today is very, very auspicious Ekadasi. In
Yes,
India, as
Bhavan
well as in
Dev.
this part of the world, right? And we are also, tomorrow is Vamana, the appearance day of Vamana Dev. So it's very auspicious if you can read that pastime from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I will send the link in the group. You can read that
Tomorrow also
pastime tomorrow.
fasting?
No, fasting we did today because tomorrow is see what we discussed. No, one should not fast on the Dwadasi. And normally for Vamana Dev, we have to fast till 12 noon. But because tomorrow is Dwadasi and also Vamana Dev, we fast on Ekadasi till 12 noon for Vamana Dev. We do not fast on Dwadasi. It's very, very inauspicious to fast on Dwadasi. So therefore, the Vamana Dev fasting we did today for Ekadasi till 12 noon, followed by regular Ekadasi fasting. And tomorrow we celebrate Vamana Dev.
So Mataji, here in America, today is Ekadashi. So we fast today and then at 12 noon tomorrow we break the fast, right? For
No,
Bhavan
12
Dev?
noon. No, today till 12 noon, you do complete fast without eating or drinking. And if you have a problem, you can drink water, depending on your health and your body and whatever other factors. But till 12 noon, it's complete fasting for Vamana Dev. And beyond 12 noon, you can have Ekadasi Prasad for the rest of the day till tomorrow morning.
But they have said the time to open the Ekadashi tomorrow morning, 6 something.
Yeah, that is only for Ekadasi fast. Vamana Dev is only till 12 noon today now. After that is your Ekadasi fasting.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So we're doing on the same day.
Yes, because appearance of Vamana Dev actually is tomorrow, but because it's Dwadasi, we cannot fast on Dwadasi. So today we are fasting for Vamana till 12 noon, followed by Ekadasi fasting.
Okay, thank you, That makes sense. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Those who skip the fasting for Ekadashi today, can they keep it tomorrow?
No, you don't fast on Dwadasi. That's what I'm saying. You cannot fast on Dwadasi.
Okay, okay,
Dwadasi, you have to break the fast.
okay. I thought Prabhupada somewhere said that if you don't keep the fasting for Ekadashi, the next day you keep.
Oh, if he said that, then you keep it. See, ideally, one should not break Ekadasi fast. And Prabhupada
No,
said that
I'm keeping
you
it. I'm keeping it for those people that have not kept. I'm asking.
if by mistake you have broken the fast, then yes, it'd be interesting to see what Prabhupada said.
I have not broken the fast. Okay.
Okay, so then it doesn't apply to you. Why are you worried?
No, I just wanted to know because I heard somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to look up that quote. See, actually, Prabhupada, I have read this quote of Prabhupada where he says that if you forget to fast on Ekadasi, actually you should be fasting for the next 3 days.
Oh,
That is
wow.
what Shastra says. But Prabhupada would have may have made a
Rule.
an accommodation, no, because Prabhupada, the Guru, is more merciful than Krishna. So Prabhupada would have made an accommodation for us fallen conditioned souls so that we don't have to suffer so much, no, like that. But if
Yeah.
Prabhupada has said it, then of course we have to follow that.
Okay. Krishna.
But general rule is you fast on Ekadasi, on Dwadasi you have to break your fast. That's why that's why even Vamana Dev, his appearance is tomorrow, but we are fasting for him today because we don't want to fast on Dwadasi. There is no Vedic injunction for that. For fasting on Dwadasi.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, anything else we need to discuss?
Mataji, the test will be posted soon.
Yes, soon. That's right. Anything else? Okay then, since there are no more questions or things to discuss, I hope to see you all in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Till then, have a nice weekend. Krishna consciousness. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you,
Srila
Mataji. Koti
Prabhupada
koti
ki
dandavat pranam.
Jai.
Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danu pronouns.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.